One of the brands that I think is having the most fun at the moment is the team over at Venezianico. If you've not heard of the brand before, they are an Italian-based brand based in Venice, and they are really passionate about creating watches with unique dials and interesting case materials. Two of the main representatives of the brand, Elena and Alberto, have been all over the world at different watch shows showing off these watches. And if you see one in person, you'll know just how good they are. This is their Nereide line, and this is the third watch that I've reviewed in this specific line. Even though the case shape is the same, and you could argue it's not the most unique case shape, but it works very well for a frame for these just beautiful dials and different case materials. Let's just go over the specs of the watch itself, because this watch is, I think it's going to be around $1,100, although there is a pre-order price at the moment and it launches today, so check out the link in the description down below. This is a 42mm cased watch with a lug-to-lug of 49mm and a 22mm lug width. It's using the Sellita SW200, and surprisingly for a dive watch, it's only 12.4mm thick. Even though it does have a very flashy look to it, this is still a dive watch, and it has all of those dive watch chops. Has sapphire crystal, 200 meters water resistance, screw down oversized crown embossed with their logo. The back of the case, which we can see here, that has a beautiful deep engraving of a submarine, is attached through screws, and on this particular model we have a rubber strap. The rubber straps that they include on here, they are fitted, which means that they do slightly overhang. So if you have smaller wrists, you might have a slight bit of overhang here from the rubber strap. Here you can see it on my 7.2-inch wrist where it does bulge out ever so slightly, but it doesn't bother me too much. If it bothers you, you can just easily swap it out to another 22mm strap. Although I have to say, this rubber strap that's included, they've done an amazing job of matching it to the dial. The other things that add to the real high quality feel of the case is a bezel with a nice machine grip to it, and the bezel action as well is awesome. Zero play in it. To top the bezel, which I think is quite cool, is they use tungsten for the bezel insert, which means that's definitely going to prolong the life before you start scratching up the bezel. Triangle at the top, which has a turquoise outer as well, also has lume inlaid in the top of the bezel. Certainly not the most unique case design, but it really is done to a high standard. Brushing down the side, polished chamfers down the lugs. The lugs curve towards your wrist as well, really adding to the comfort, and they've got the balance just right. They've got the balance towards the back of the case, so even though it is a larger watch, it's certainly not going to ride up and down your wrist or feel like it's hanging off. This is a stainless steel case. They've done bronze cases, that we reviewed a titanium cased watch as well that they do. Now let's go to the star of the show, which is this dial, and this dial is made from turquoise stone, hence the name. It's called Turchese, which is turquoise in Italian, and I've probably murdered that pronunciation, but this is using a stone that they've cut down to make the dial. What I think is pretty good about the design of this watch as well is they've managed to match where the applied indices are attached to, these beautiful polished applied indices. They've applied that to an outer ring that also matches the dial very nicely as well. It could have been very easy to get those colors off and make it look weird, and with it being a natural stone, I imagine that took quite a lot of design effort to make sure that all of the different variations that you're going to get in these stone dials, because each one's going to be unique, to try and get a color that complemented that, and I think they've done a great job of that. The dial has little cracks, little inclusions, different color variations, gives it a real warmth. And what I like that they've done here is we're used to seeing turquoise stone highly polished for use in jewelry, and they've left it as it's been cut, so it doesn't have that glossy look to it, which I think probably would have overpowered this watch. It has a matte, almost paper-like finish to it. When you zoom in here on those macros, you can just see all of those different elements of this natural stone that, when brought together on the dial and the different variations in colors, gives it just a beautiful look on the wrist. Admittedly, you're going to have to really like turquoise or the aqua look to like this watch. If you like the pictures of this watch online on their website, it looks just spectacular in person. The rest of the dial has the applied logo on there. We do have a date window that has a silver surround. On this particular one, the date window just seems a little bit smaller. You can still read the date, but just something to note. The hands are straight with a minute hand that goes all the way to the outer minute track, straight hour hand, and then a second hand that is also highly polished with that lume pip, that sort of tic-tac lume pip. The lume also complements the dial as well, the color of the lume, which I think is pretty cool. I always wonder what these watches would look like if they had slightly larger hands. Maybe that's something for future. The box that it comes in is a cardboard box, but inside it has a suede finish to it with a false bottom with all the instructions, and then underneath you've got your warranty card for around the $1,000 mark for a Sellita SW200 for the level of finishing you're getting in here. Stone dial, tungsten inlay, great lume, screw down crown, 200 meters with a sapphire crystal. I think getting a lot of bang for your buck with this watch. And if you don't like this turquoise dial, they've got a bunch of other dials. We've reviewed one that had aventurine on it, one that was a sort of a gradient dial on the titanium watch, and then they do a whole bunch of other different stone dials, different dial finishes. They even have one of these versions that has a highly engraved bezel and case that looks awesome as well. If you're at any of the watch shows, try and check one of these out in person. Big thanks to Elena and Alberto for including me in another launch. There's my opinion, but your opinion matters just as much, so let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like videos like this, I would love it if you subscribed, hit that thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Casual Watch Reviews. Thanks guys, bye.